unconditional love. You got to understand our origins, okay, went askew a long time ago. That's the original sin. The fall of man and the subsequent curse that befell the earth. God was sorry he created us. This is where everything bad came from, death. Okay, we don't need death. Figure it out. You're God Almighty. What? You could lay out the universe and everything contained therein, and you don't have control over, well, oh, it's spiraling out of control, so I'm appointing these men to control the population of the earth. No, not that you could just simply pull the fertility plug. So forget sperm banks. They're not going to work anymore. Not going to work anymore. Okay, stop. That's enough. This planet is populated enough. But I've got countless more, and as many more as I want to create. I have the power to do that. Habitable planets. That's nice, better than Earth, where gravity's not so extreme. Gravity is good. You need a little bit, but you don't need it to be lethal as it is now. Everything bad came from the original sin and the fall of man. Whatever happened there, that allegory for the eating of the forbidden fruit, and the serpent in the Garden of Eden, all that stuff, we all know that story. Okay, whatever that's an allegory for, I don't know. I don't know everything. All I know is something bad happened when we felt shame. We tried to hide from God. We were disobedient. Just like if you were disobedient, your parents, who you cared very much about their opinion, or a boss, or a parent, or a teacher, rather, anybody else that you care about their opinion of you. But we were ashamed. Our ancestors were. Death got in our DNA. We were warned, we were told, but nevertheless, we had to have freedom of choice, or else we wouldn't have been in the image and likeness of God. Do you understand? It's all about free will choice. We screwed up. Our ancestors screwed up. And we have the death gene today. We all know we still got death. But there'll be a time in history when it's swallowed up in victory, as Jesus prophesied and told us clearly. This is it, the renewal of all things, when death is gone, man. The dead in Christ are raised, even the wicked are raised. We're separated, the wicked from the righteous, like the sheep from the goats, how he explained, or the weeds from the cultivars, however you want to look at it. And if you made it, you're great. Your mind is one with God. You made it to Shangri-La, whatever you want to refer to an ideal world as. Okay, that's the place we're looking for. And it can't contain any form of money. And that is a huge departure from the reality we all are forced to contend with. Completely different. The way God sees stuff, the way we see stuff is often, almost always, typically, completely different. The things highly valued among men, materialistically speaking, primarily money, are detestable inside of God because he sees how easily they corrupt the hearts and minds of men. You understand? So we got to be on the same page. We got to understand why each and every form of money must go. God says, figure it out. All the other creatures do this instinctively. And you have the ability to figure it out. We shouldn't be ashamed of being naked. What's wrong with that? It's just the body. It's the way God created us. And what a departure that is from the status quo, right? The state of affairs. For me too. I mean, we can all be very modest at times, right? And we can all be a bit immodest. It's just the nature of the beast. This schism is inevitable. That's where it came from. If you want to know where it came from and what we're contending with and why God is there for us in his amazing grace and the forgiveness of Christ, okay, you got to understand that we need it. We need to understand these things, because who doesn't get uncomfortable talking about nakedness? I've never known anybody. I've never met anybody that didn't get a little squeamish and squirrely when the subject came up. Because we all have issues, and that's where they come from. Nobody knows I mean, it's a big, fat, gray area. Is it right? Is it wrong? What is right? What is wrong? We can split hairs, right? I mean, that's about how it is now. Who knows? Who really knows? But we're all weird about it, and that's where it came from. That's where death came from. That's where disease came from. That's where thorns on roses came from. Stinging insects. Natural disasters. It's too hot. It's too cold. All bad things. That's where it came from. Gravity is too harsh. That's what you got to understand. That's where these bad things came from. And the evil that controls us now through the purse strings, this is the same old story. It's a slaver class, man. They've just used deep subterfuge to get around slavery laws, like they can't use violence and other means to have slaves. It's all about the money, controlling the money, the purse strings. And it's sick. So who rules the world? Those that are willing to relinquish their very conscience for $1. That's why they rule, because normal people that are trying to respect their conscience and the possibility they got a soul and there will be a judgment day, a day of reckoning, accountability for the way we lived our lives. You've got boundaries. So your hands are tied. They don't. That's why they rule. But that's all coming to an end. In the past, all through history, when these evil men pushed too hard and they took advantage of the purse strings and they, just la, everything's good, like Marie Antoinette, let them eat bread, before the French Revolution, right? That same thing. It just cropped up again. They can't control themselves. So they're drunk, out of control. You think, well, they need to walk this tightrope somehow. They got to keep society together. But we all look around. It's officially broken up. Only a liar would disagree with that. It's the fall of society is here. There's no doubt about it. Okay, but all hope is not lost. Thank God. And listen, I'm referring to prophecy. Thank God it's not going to be through another bloody revolution. I don't believe that. We're not going to see changes come that way. That's the good news. Bad news for the evil men. They wish it was that simple. They wish they could hire private armies. They don't care. They got all the money and control and power and all that crap, prestige, authority, right? So they could just go, hide in their ivory towers and hire private mercenaries to protect them from the hoarding masses that are coming after them with pitchforks and tar and feathers, right? So it's not going to be like that. It's going to come through knowledge. Knowledge is power, wisdom. Like the book of Daniel, chapter 12. I firmly believe that's the point in history we are. That's good news, friends, because we're at the precipice of big, unprecedented sea changes on planet Earth. That's really good news. That's something to be very grateful for, very thankful for this Thanksgiving. Good things are coming to good people. And for evil men, they're not too happy because they see the writing on the wall and it's flashing bright neon. They're saying, oh God, we can't hide this anymore. We're found out. We're naked. We're exposed. We're evil, and they know it. We've subdued our conscience. We don't value conscience. We don't put God above us. We don't feel like we're going to have to give account or reckoning or in judgment day. We believe how we want because we love our lives in this world. We love the power, control, the prestige, all the accoutrements of money. It's all about the money. That's how they have the control. Evil men, free will choice. They've used their free will choice. They got their values, and their values are completely different from normal people that are trying to gravitate toward their godly instinct to just be a nice human being and try to enjoy their stinking little lives to the best of their ability and have fun and play. The reason that God did everything, back to this idea of recreation and play, is because he wanted to. I mean, what more fun thing have you ever done in your life that was spontaneous? You said, I want to try this, and you got addicted. You go, oh my God, this is such a great hobby. This is so much fun. I love this. But I was going to mention about these trimaran, remote control trimarans. You go try to find a remote control trimaran. I'm envisioning something maybe, 18 inches, 24 inches long. And all the remote control really has to control is the steering. You're under sail power. You don't sail it when there's no wind. But even a little bit of wind, you ought to be able to recover your boat on a lake or something, as long as, there's not too windy. But the nice thing about a trimaran, it's not going to sink because of flotation. You don't need any ballast. With a monohull, you need ballast. You might lose your boat if it capsizes and fills with water because the ballast will drag it to the bottom of the lake, or if you're doing it on the ocean on a calm day. Watch out for even little breakers, though, if you've got a little boat this long or, 18, 24 inches long. But it sounds like a lot of fun to me, you know. And some of these are bigger. They've got some beautiful trimarans. Look them up, but you can't really. It's very difficult. I'm finding it very difficult to, figure out how to order one of these things. But maybe it has something to do with COVID. But hey, there is an opportunity right there. Maybe design my own and get them mass manufactured in Mexico or something. They need jobs down there apparently, right? South of the border. But I had a little something I wanted to read this morning. But, any little blessings that we get throughout the day, and we all get millions of them, every day. But, any blessings we don't acknowledge, then these are like missed blessings if we don't count them. And thank God throughout the day, there's all this stuff. Thank God for this. Thank God for that. Thank God for, there's so many things that we all have to be grateful for. And we've got to be there for other people. We've got to try to comfort and encourage other people because we don't know what people are going through. And we may be going through a lot of stuff ourselves, stressors, and we all are. But somehow we've got to turn to God for relief and be available for other people to give of ourselves and to listen and to comfort and to encourage, to strengthen. And all those things, and help people to realize, listen, I'm going to let you down. I'm a fallible human being just like every human being. But this is about believing in a really, really, really good God, way better than we can ever imagine. And if you ever think of a God in a way that's less than perfect, you got the wrong God. You got to fire him and get the right God, because there's no way you're ever going to imagine a better God than the true God. Okay? An awesome, loving set of parents that wants nothing but the very best for all his kids. No possible ulterior motive. He wants friends and servants of their own free will and accord. He doesn't want our love forced on him. He's not a harsh taskmaster. We put that upon ourselves. The evil men put that upon us, burdened through monetary means. And it's all got to go. We cannot contend with money. As much as we all love money right now, and God understands, everybody understands why we love money. It's our security. It's a way out of fear. It's our sense of freedom, and it's just so many things, right? We all know it pays our stinking bills, buys the stuff we want. So God understands. We got to confess it. We got to admit it, that we're all money lovers, but we also have to recognize we got to get off the junk, and we have the wherewithal, unless we're lying to ourselves, and it's willful delusion to say that we can't imagine getting off money completely, that we don't have the wherewithal to imagine a society operating without any form of money. That's a lie. Or that we can't imagine a world without death. That's a lie. Clothing, it's another gray area. I don't know everything. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't know everything. All I know is, as a man, I tell you what, I mean, a lot of gay people, they're happy and they love to be gay and they're proud of it and all. I say, well, I can say I'm very glad that I'm heterosexual. I don't want to offend anyone. I'm just saying that I just think it's so beautiful. The idea that God made us male and female, and then I look at the woman, I think, God, oh my God, she is so customized. You are all so beautiful just because you're a female, born a female. I mean, it's so, they're glorious creatures. They're sacred creatures. They're precious creatures. They're just, I just think of God. When I think about the female, it just, to me, it's like thinking of God, and it's awesome. And I wish we didn't have to have issues about nakedness, but we do. I do. We all do. I've never known anyone that didn't. And you can say, oh, no, I'm perfectly normal and, well-adjusted when it comes to these things. But I don't buy it, okay? We all have issues about these things. It's hard to know exactly what is the right way to view this thing. But death, I want you to know that you need to view it the way Jesus said to view it. Like it's just an advanced form of sleep, and God's got it all under control. Don't worry. He loves your loved one, and he loves you more than you can ever conceive, but you ought to think about it and thank God for that love that agape love, that unconditional, pure, undying love, and the power that no other human has to give you life in a better world. Not in this crap hole with a body that can't be harmed anymore. No more disease, no more death, no more curse upon the earth. Thorns on roses gone, stinging insects, and any other miserable creatures out there that we don't need. We can have other ones. God will invent other ones for us, create other ones for us. Nothing bad. No more hot and too cold, too hot. No more natural disasters. Nothing. If you can imagine it,